conscious of time. I think we've got time to squeeze in one question that we do have here from our audience. Now, Krishnan, this did drop in while you were speaking, but Ilan, if you want to chime in as well, you're more than welcome to do so. Now, the question is, how could a damages expert possibly calculate lost profits associated with just the wrongful statements, separate from a decrease in sales caused by a recall? And it specifically references the information that you gave regarding a plaintiff suing a defendant for making a false and misleading claim, and then you stated in an example that there was an airbag recall halfway through a damages period.
Sure. Yeah. Let me take a shot at addressing that, and maybe just quickly, go over that example again. So the example, I believe, was a company was making and selling a type of airbag, and the plaintiff alleged the defendant had made false and misleading claims against the plaintiff's airbags, defamation and libel. And I talked about the allegations being made over a 5-year period. But then also during this period, there was an unrelated recall of the plaintiff's airbags. Now this goes to the causation and tying the damages to the wrongful act. And I think Ilan had also talked about some of the ways you could do this. But it's very, very dependent on the facts of the case and what information is available. I mean, if, for example, you have any documentation, either the company's documentation or industry information that shed some light on the impact of this recall on sales. For example, if this company document that says this recall caused like a 50% decrease in sales, this is something you take into account when performing the but-for analysis. And again, Ilan has talked about the before and after approach, so you could do some kind of regressions or trend analysis to see investigate the trend in sales prior to the wrongful act, and maybe see how the trend changed after the wrongful act, and then again see how it changed after the recall. So you basically have almost like three scenarios, and you see what the difference in sales were between the actual and the but-for, and between the but-for and the recall period. Again, the data needs to exist to be able to do this analysis. Maybe something else we could do is look to see if any information exists about prior recalls, either for this company or other similar companies, and see what impact that had on the company's sales and profits. So in essence, is looking at sort of comparables. This obviously is probably less preferable than looking and performing a trend or regression on the actual data, because it gets a little bit further away from what's currently happening. But it's just, I think, dependent on what information is available.